This is future Amanda because I have somehow lost a ton of footage for this video. No clue where it went. While I'm able to refilm the intro and outro, unfortunately, I don't have a lot of the middle random bits, but I have enough. Stick with me here. In this video, I'm going to be making my Eun Light Sweater. And while I, future Amanda, know a lot of information that would have changed from the intro, I'm gonna try to do the intro as best as I can to the information I had at the time. If you hear a little jingling, it's my cat playing. I have had my eye on this sweater for a long time. I really particularly like the split of the side ribbing and then how long the ribbing is. And so I've been wanting to do it. I've been just staring at it. I just kept saying no though because I was working on other projects. And then finally one day I said, what's the point? Let's make it. And I'm so glad I did. This was really a fun project to work on, hint hint. Ended up just using some yarn that I had here in my house already, although I only had about 1.5 balls of it, so I knew I was gonna need to order more. It's from Hobby Lobby. It's the bee yarn, and I believe it's called like Soft and Simple or No Pill Fiber. I'll have it here in green apple. I really love this color. I think this color looks fantastic on me. I have been personally obsessed with chartreuse for a little bit over a year now. And so having a sweater in this color is a fantastic move on my part. I thought at the time it was a DK yarn, although now I'm starting to think it was a little bit more closer to a worsted or an Aran because my gauge was off a lot. I ended up having to move up needle sizes, which you won't get to hear. I didn't talk about it, but I mention it later. So let's talk about it now. Pattern I think calls for a 4mm and I ended up going up to a 5, I think it was. I don't think it was my 5.5. And because of that, I ended up knitting a smaller size just so that like it would fit me. And the only thing that seems to be really different from the pattern itself, which you'll see at the end, is the neckline. However, I'm actually really happy with how my neckline turned out and I kind of want to do it again. My yarn did ship today. However, I did the math on how much yarn I have and how much I ordered, and I was not going to have enough to finish this sweater. I had looked at what the grams, the yardage, all of that was before, but again, I didn't meet gauge, so I'm off. So I got 2 more of the one that I need, and then there happened to be another yarn that I've had my eyes on for a long time, and I don't plan on going back to Hobby Lobby if I can help it ever. So it's the Ethereal Eyelash. So as you saw yesterday, I have started taking my knitting down to the pond, 3/4 of a mile, just under a mile away from my house. I've brought it today. I hope the background noise isn't too crazy. I finished my first sleeve. I have not tied in any of my ends. However, this sleeve was so close on Yarn Chicken. I literally had to add in a second ball right here. So I had less than half of a row and then my casting off, and that was it. So I was a little frustrated with that, but it'll be fine. I decided instead of going ahead and knitting the other sleeve, I was gonna go back to the body and knit the body. So I have to knit like 44 centimeters from the top down, something like that, until oh, the wind's getting strong, until I break for the ribbing, because the ribbing is done in like panels. It's not all the way in the round. I do like the front and then the back. If you look at the photo of this sweater, you'll see it. And I can't decide if I'm going to just knit to the bottom of that, or if I'm going to knit the whole body and then also the ribbing before I go on to the other sleeve. The sleeve was like so fun and so easy to do that I am like excited to get back to the other sleeve to do it. It's just stuck in it, but it was just enjoyable. I don't know why. Whereas the body, I am like 6 or 7 rows underneath the armpit. So I have to do 17 centimeters. Goodness. 17 centimeters, and a centimeter is like 2.1, 2.2 rows. So you do the math. I did it before and I know it's a lot of rows. It's like 35, I think, that I have to do. So if I'm only on 6, yikes. It's so funny. Like, I was working on this on my lunch break today and I only got like 2 rows done because I had to, you know, have lunch, and I didn't really get a full lunch break, like my full hour. However, I was already like, oh, I don't want to do the body. Oh. However, I do think the ribbing, because it's only going to be like half, will be something that I want to do again. So I'm going to keep working on the body now. Don't know where I will, you know, break to work on the other sleeve. The good news is I am using different needles, so I can just leave these needles in. It just all comes down to the yarn. I realized when I switched from the yoke to the sleeve before that I had to like cut my yarn and then like reattach it. So it's just a lot of like ends to weave in. I had an issue with picking up the stitches from where I had added stitches on for the sleeve. I'd added on 8 and they were on my knitting needles, my big ones for the body. However, they were around like the wire part, the cable part. And so getting them onto these 5 millimeters, oh my God, I had to think up some creative ways to do that. So if I do this again in the future where I like stop after the yoke and go onto a sleeve, I will need to knit, even if it's just 3 rows from the sleeve, because I had only done 1, I think it was. Yeah, I had to get really creative with that. So anyways, I'm gonna try to sit out here for an hour. It's almost 4 p.m. I got off of work like around 3:30 because I, again, hadn't taken my whole lunch break, and I clocked in early. I don't actually clock in anymore. So I was like, cool, I can leave 30 minutes early and walk over to the park. I've been here maybe 15 minutes just eating carrots. So now I'm gonna actually pick up my knitting again and see how far I can get. I finished. I only have this much yarn left, which is fantastic because I was really worried I was gonna run out. And then if I didn't run out, I didn't want to have a ton left over. So that'll be perfect for me fixing a few little holes, and then I might be able to add it to my scrap bucket. I have not blocked this sweater yet. However, this is where we are at, and I'm so freaking happy with it. I know that the shoulders are way bigger than I wanted or planned. However, I don't really mind it. There's a cat here now. I am going to block the sweater, and then any of my like major thoughts I'm gonna put into my project vlog. So this is my Eun sweater, completely finished, completely blocked. I have worn it a few times at this point. I will include some clips of me wearing it. It goes great over dresses. I don't think I've worn it over jeans yet, but that would probably be my other outfit of choice when wearing it. It is hard to photograph though because it doesn't sit on hangers, and while I don't hang my knits, I do like to just for like some quick photos. I'm really happy with all of it. There's a couple of things that I probably would change / I want to get my skills better at for the future. However, just so you guys know, I did also vlog about this project in the video that's going to come out next Friday, which is a little fun 24-hour whip challenge. And so if you want like live thoughts, you can go watch that video next week when it comes out, or if you're watching this video in the future, it's already out. Some really quick thoughts though, because I know I saved a lot of them for this video. This is my second sweater that I've ever finished. It's not my second sweater that I've started. Because of that, I learned a lot while working on this. There is technically a difference between the front and the back. You can see the neckline lays a little bit lower. The thing I would definitely change is I've learned I really don't care for a rolled collar. I think if I had done it longer, it would have been cute. But on this kind of a project, not a fan. I also have a handful of holes throughout, and they're not like super bad and they're not like loose or anything. It's just where I did something a little bit weird. Some of them are like along where I was doing increases, and I have gotten a lot better at increases since this, so I don't expect that to be a problem in the future. Additionally, wherever I had to join in new yarn, it's just noticeable. Like right there, you can see it. And that's because as I was going, I was doing what I just did in crochet, which is just do a little knot and then keep working, and then eventually tie in the long ends later. And it really didn't work for knitting. So I've learned that. When I went to tie in all my ends though, I did unknot the yarn as best as possible. And from that, I was able to help smooth out some of it, but there's just, you can see it. And to be honest, I don't totally mind. It's just if I had wanted like a really clean, polished sweater, this isn't gonna be it. I still wear her a lot, and there are a couple of spots where I went back and duplicate stitched over just like a few stitches just to clean them up. Otherwise, I think she's perfect. The length on the sleeves is so great for my arms. I wish if I was doing this again, I would have made the ribbing on the sleeves a little bit longer, but I don't mind it where it's at. It's not necessarily a negative. It's just a note for future me working on projects. And I think that my decreases are pretty clean underneath the arm. Oh, there's another little hole right there where I picked up stitches for the sleeve. That's something I'm still working on, to be honest. So if you have any advice on picking up stitches underneath the armpit so that you don't have holes, or if you know of a video, send it to me, please. I think she's fantastic. The thing I really learned with this project is that you're gonna notice and feel like you're making a lot of mistakes while you're working on something. But when you finish a garment, or any project really, you're just gonna be so excited that you've finished it, that those like flaws or those mistakes or those like weird little things don't bother you. At least that is how it is for me. While I was working on it, there were multiple times where I did like a left leaning increase instead of a right leaning increase, or like I have those little holes in the armpits, or I have the weird little snaggle on the back where I joined in new yarn. But wearing it, I feel so accomplished. And no, it's not like store quality. However, something that I personally like is people being able to look at my work and tell that it was handmade. Like, why did I put all of that work into something for people to think I got it from the store? My cat is now bothering you, so sorry. I like when things feel handmade. And I know that that means maybe less polished or less refined or other like negative connotation words. However, I don't feel that way. Less polished doesn't mean less good. It just means different. And less refined, again, just means different. If I wanted a sweater that looked like it was from the store, I would buy a sweater from the store. And if I want something that has my hand actually showing in it, I'm gonna have my hand showing in it. But I am going to say that I, myself, personally, like to see the hand that made things in things that are made. Otherwise, it just feels like a machine did it. And in the world we're living in, where machines, AI, everything is so easily made, it's just like a nice little moment where I get to enjoy the fact that I did something. So, sorry, didn't mean to get on a little soapbox there. Just wanted to share kind of how I felt at the end of this project, which is I need to like worry less while I'm working on things about the end result, because for me, the process of making something is so joyful, but then also having something made is so great. And I don't care if it has mistakes. I make mistakes. That's it for today. Check back in next week. I'll have more to say on this whip and lots of other whips that I worked on. And if you don't mind, if you want to hear more stuff from me, consider giving me a subscribe. Lots of things have changed since I started making this sweater. For one, my hair is shorter. For two, I lost my job. For three, it's hot out now. It's miserably hot out now. It was nice talking with you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope I get to talk to you some more in the future. Bye!